Hello and welcome back to my channel. Everything is Divine. Today we are doing lesson number 66. My happiness and my function are one. You have surely noticed an emphasis throughout our recent lessons on the connection between fulfilling your function and achieving happiness. This is because you do not really see the connection. Yet, there is more than just a connection between them. They are the same thing. Their forms are different, but their content is completely one. The ego does constant battle with the Holy Spirit on the fundamental question of what your function is. So does it do constant battle with the Holy Spirit about what your happiness is. It is not a two-way battle. The ego attacks and the Holy Spirit does not respond. He knows what your function is. He knows that it is your happiness. Today we will try to go past this wholly meaningless battle and arrive at the truth about your function. We will not engage in ceaseless arguments about what it is. We will not become hopelessly involved in defining happiness and determining the means for achieving it. We will not indulge the ego by listening to its attacks on truth. We will merely be glad that we can find out what truth is. Our longer practice period today has as its purpose your acceptance of the fact that not only is there a very real connection between the function God gave you and your happiness, but that they are actually identical. God gives you only happiness. Therefore, the function He gave you must be happiness, even if it appears to be different. Today's exercises are an attempt to go beyond these differences in appearance and recognize a common content where it exists in truth. I want to go back to this sentence a little bit. God gives you only happiness. Therefore, the function He gave you must be happiness, even if it appears to be different. I'm telling you, that sentence is a total battle with the ego. The ego is going to say, there is no way that I am happy at this very moment when in my life da-da-da-da is going on. I'm still practically, so if I apply it practically, I still am not out of my allergy stuff that's going on in my face. And it's so if you look at it from the ego's point of view, I actually cannot be happy, because the ego's dictation is everything in my life should go perfectly for me to be happy. How can I be happy when everything is falling apart? I'm going through a lot of health issues. How can I be happy? Here is where your firmness in the truth, you're grounded in the truth that your function is nothing but that what God gives you. If you have accepted it, I have accepted it. If you have accepted it, then there would not be a controversy. There would not be a contrast. There would not be a fight amongst yourself, within yourself, a conflict within yourself, what my function is. Regardless of what is going on, I am the light of the world and I am happy. That is it. And that I just wanted to bring that up. It's practically applying. See how when I choose my function as happiness, things that are normally not appearing as you to be happy, they may rearrange in such a way that because you are happy now, it's going to appear that all the things that were going not according to what you wanted, but then it kind of rearranges itself, and then it brings your truth, because you're connecting to the truth of you are happy already. So now it has no other way but to show you, okay, I bring only that to you. I hope that makes sense, or it resonates with you what I'm trying to say. Begin the 10 to 15 minute practice period by reviewing these thoughts. God gives me only happiness. He has given my function to me. Therefore, my function must be happiness. Try to see the logic in this sequence, even if you do not yet accept the conclusion. It is only if the premises are wrong that the conclusion could be false. Let us then think about the premises for a while as we are practicing. The first is that God gives you only happiness. This could be false, of course, but in order to be false, it is necessary to define God as something he is not. Love cannot give evil, and what is not happiness is evil. God cannot give what he does not have, and he cannot have what he is not. Unless God gives you only happiness, he must be evil. And it is this definition of him which you are believing if you do not accept the first premise. The second premise is that God has given you your function. We have seen that there are only two parts of the mind of your mind. One is ruled by the ego and is made up of illusions. The other is the home of the Holy Spirit where truth abides. There are no other guides but those to choose between, and no other outcomes possible as a result of your choice but the fear which the ego always engenders and the love which the Holy Spirit always offers to replace it. Thus, it must be that your function is established by God through his voice in you, or is made by the ego which you have made to replace him. Which is true? Unless God gave your function to you, it must be the gift of the ego. Does the ego really have gifts to give, being itself an illusion and offering only the illusion of gifts? Think about this during the longer practice period today. Think also about the many forms the illusion of your function has taken in your mind, and the many ways in which you have tried to find salvation under the ego's guidance. Did you find it? Were you happy? Did they bring you peace? Ego's gifts to you are in the world. So say you are sad, and you now want to feel better. So the ego's means of taking you is sometimes I may want to go shopping, um, to take my mind off things. Or I may want to watch something funny. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things. Once that funny thing is over, once I'm done shopping, I bought that stuff, it made me good. It made me feel good about myself at that point. Once it's over, have you noticed that it is never done, because then you have more desire, different desires, and if you have not, if nothing has changed on the outer world of yours, that sadness persists. So those are ego's gifts, is what I have understood from here, and there is never a consistency and a persistence in that. We will need great honesty today. Remember the outcomes fairly and consider also whether it was ever reasonable to expect happiness from anything the ego has ever proposed. Yet it is the only alternative to the Holy Spirit's voice. You will listen to madness or hear the truth. Try to make this choice as you think about the premises on which on which our conclusion rests. We can share in this conclusion, but in no other, for God himself shares it with us. Today's idea is another giant stride in the perception of the same as the same and the different as different. On one side stand all illusions, all truth stands on the other. Let us try today to realize that only the truth is true. In the shorter periods, which would be particularly helpful if undertaken twice an hour today, this form of application is suggested. My happiness and function are one because God has given me both. It will not take more than a minute and probably less to repeat these words slowly and think about them as a little as you say them. The premises are the first two ideas. I'm reading the footnotes. The premises are the first two ideas, and the conclusion, of course, is the last. This is an Aristotelian syllogism, which consists of a major premise, a minor premise, and a conclusion. If the premises are both true, and if the conclusion follows logically from them, then the argument is sound, and the conclusion is established as necessarily true. This lesson is the second of the workbook's giant strides. See footnote 75 in lesson 61 for a list of them. Yeah, we did read those in that list. If you want to research on what is that Aristotelian syllogism, I don't even know whether that pronunciation I'm pronouncing it right or not. If you want to, you can. Um, do let me know what it means. I would love that. But what I have understood from this and I have shared, I hope that also resonates with you. This is your practice. This is your transformation. I hope you have a great day, a great week. I love you. I will see you soon. Namaste.